Running is hard. Or is it? Hey everybody, my name's Evan, and I've been running competitively for the last 9 years, and today I'm going to tell you the top 5 things I wish I knew before I started running. Now this isn't really a tip, but the good thing about running is it kind of can be as complex or as easy really as you want it to be. You can either be a weekend warrior where you're just casually going out and just you enjoy exercising or something like that, or you can be like me and hyperfixate on every single detail about the performance of your body and every single factor that goes into it, so that maybe in hopes that one day you might be able to perform to your optimal level. Yeah, but you're just starting, so let's not worry about that right now. And make sure to stick around to the end to see my final tip, which is something I feel like not a lot of people really talk about. Tip number 1, starting out slowly. This is one of the biggest reasons I see so many people give up on running, is they go out too quick. It is literally a marathon, not a sprint. Now you can go ahead and ignore this rule if you're a freak of nature and you just can go out and run as fast as you can for all the miles that you want. And if you are that person, I'm here to tell you that I'm jealous of you. But if you're like all of us other mortals, running can very easily injure you if you're not careful off the start. So making sure starting in slowly will give you the best chances possible to enjoy it and continue into the sport later. Starting out quickly can result in things like injury, quick burnout, which I have a video on it, by the way. Go check that out. And you just won't enjoy the sport. You'll think it sucks and you won't ever want to try it again, but you'll never see the fun that it can be. Starting out slow makes running feel a lot more approachable, as you can set your own pace and just kind of do whatever you want for those first couple weeks. Get a feel for it and just see how much you really enjoy it. Tip number 2. This one's pretty hard, especially for a lot of really competitive people, is not comparing yourself to others. It can become really easy to go on Instagram and see all these running influencers and all these people who are like, I did a marathon today at 6:30 pace and my heart rate was 121 beats per minute. This was so much fun and it was all sunshine and rainbows and things like that. It's not like that. Trust me. It's gonna suck some days, but that's okay. At this stage, when you're just starting out, you should just be focusing on your running career, nobody else's, because you're building up. There's no expectations. You can literally just start and you're already hitting your goals. You need to understand that these things take time to develop. So immediately comparing yourself to people like Olympians and those TikTok influencers that you see all the time who are doing great stuff out there showing the cool world of running, you're just not there yet. And that's okay. You gotta think about it like this. If you can barely go out there and run an 8-minute mile and you're seeing whole bunches of people out there on Instagram and your news feeds and things like that running 4-minute miles, and you think, why can't I do that? You're gonna get burnout and it's gonna suck and you're gonna be like, why am I even doing this? You gotta understand that these things take time. Now, just because it takes time doesn't mean you are gonna be able to run a 4-minute mile. I've been doing this for almost a decade and I still can't run a 4-minute mile. That's okay. You gotta be able to stay consistent and understand that these things take time, and comparing yourself is gonna just pull you away from that. It's just gonna make you seem like you're not fit or this isn't for you. Stay consistent and locked in, which is a nice segue to my next tip. Tip number 3. Now I know you've heard this probably a million times about so many other things, but it is the truest thing I can possibly say about running. That consistency is key. Now, before we go any farther into this, you need to understand that you are new to the sport. You have no idea what you're doing, and if you go out there and just start being consistent like you might think you should be by running every day, you're gonna get hurt. And that's not what I recommended in the last tip, which is starting out slowly. So when you're just starting, I'm not a coach, I'm just an idiot who's run, so take this with a grain of salt. Everybody's different. But I would recommend that you start running every other day of the week, or even 3-4 days a week. Take as much time as you feel that you need off. If your body's probably gonna be hurting those first couple times going out running, so giving yourself a little bit of extra time to just kind of sit there and recover will help immensely. But just make sure you stick to that program, and you'll feel it as your body naturally progresses, that you'll be able to build up and then maybe progress to running every single day of the week, and then starting to hit the gym and doing all the other fun things that come with running. The main idea here is just kind of stick to a general plan, and as long as you stick to that plan, you will see results, as long as that plan is smart at the same time. Don't go out there and overstress yourself. Be consistent and be smart. All right, we're in the big one now. Tip number 4 is shoes. Now, unless you got steel on the bottom of your foot, you need shoes. You need one of these bad boys back here. Not these in particular, just shoes. Just shoes, okay? Now, I understand if you're a new runner, there's a million options for shoes. I mean, I've got, 6 or so pairs behind me right now. And it's a lot. I understand that. So I'm going to help you kind of narrow it down, kind of use some keywords here, so that when you go looking for shoes, you can kind of ask whatever running store, look up online the correct terms. Now, as a beginner, I would really only recommend shoes that are in the neutral or stability categories. This is a good example of a neutral road running shoe. This is the Asics Nova Blast 5, and I love it. One of my favorite daily trainers of all time. Things that makes something a neutral shoe is they don't really have any built-in supportive elements. They're just kind of the midsole foam, and that's really about it. They might have some extra little features built in there, but they're pretty basic and they're pretty approachable to just about anybody. You really can't go wrong with this kind of shoe. Now, a stability shoe, I really don't have any here because I don't really like stability shoes all that much. If you're newer into running, I would recommend trying these because how you run pretty much is just not going to be the best right now. So having a little stability element might actually help you and might keep you from getting hurt later on. And then maybe when you move up and get a little bit stronger, you can move on to more neutral, non-stability shoes. Now, if you've been looking around the running space a little bit, you've probably heard of what's called a shoe rotation. And if you're brand new to running, you really don't need to worry about this kind of thing right now. It's basically what it is just having more than one shoe that you run in at a time. Like, for example, I run in this shoe on my long run days and whatnot, and then I run in shoes like this for like regular days. And then I have shoes for workouts, on track, on road, things like that. There's a million different options. Complicated, you don't need that right now. Just go buy one pair of shoes, maybe two if you're feeling a little risky. If you don't like it, send it back, try a new pair. There's a whole bunch of different options, so just play around with it a little bit. Now, I would recommend not buying the most expensive shoe off rip. I would recommend going on to like clearance sections or things like that because you're new to the sport and maybe you will just not end up liking it. So if you don't put as much money into shoes, you won't feel as bad dropping out. But in the same sense, if you buy a really expensive pair of shoes, that might force you to stick with the sport a little bit longer, force yourself to have a little bit more sunk cost to motivate you to stick with the sport. I don't know. That's kind of up to you guys. All right, finally, tip number 5. My final tip is that the first 2 weeks are going to suck. I know it's not really a tip, that's just kind of advice, which is kind of a tip. I'm just gonna hit you with the cold water now. Those first 2 weeks suck. I remember them vividly, even though it was back in 2016. I remember hating it. I remember going out there, not wanting to get up in the morning, going out there and suffering because I had never run before in my life. So those first 2 weeks, they're gonna suck, but trust me, you get past those 2 weeks, your body's gonna start to adapt and it's gonna feel a lot better once you stay consistent, right? Tip number 3, just remember consistency with tip number 3. I understand you go out there and you see things on Instagram and TikTok with the running influencers and they're like, oh wow, this was so nice and liberating. I finally got out running and it's the best thing I ever did. Trust me, those first 2 weeks, everybody thinks it sucks. I thought it sucks and I love running. I started a YouTube channel about it, right? But they suck. But trust me, once you get past those first 2, maybe 3 weeks, it's going to become a lot, I don't want to say easier, but maybe it's going to become more of a habit to get out running as long as you stay consistent. But just trust me, those first 2 weeks are going to kind of suck. After that, it'll get smoother. Trust me, it will. It's going to get smoother. All right, guys. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. I like doing these kind of tips and tricks videos. I like sharing my knowledge that I've gained over the years with running. So if you have anything that you want to hear me yap about, let me know in the comments. If you have any other tips that you want to hear, let me know. I also make vlogs. Check those out if you want to see me race and hang out with my friends. And that's about it I got for today. So if you like this video, subscribe, like, do all the things, and I'll see you next time.